as we enter a decade of decisive action for climate, nature and people, the global community is coming together to respond to this crucial challenge. And Indonesia is playing a pivotal role. April Group, a leading producer of bio-based renewable products, is taking an active part in this global movement. This is April 2030.
April 2030 is our commitment to deliver a positive impact on climate, nature, and people, while growing as a sustainable producer of fiber and pulp-based products. By 2030, we will achieve net zero carbon emissions from all our land use, positive and measurable gains in nature, and zero extreme poverty in our communities, and positioning our business for sustainable growth for the next 10 years.
Investasi aja nggak punya, mau serius sama anak saya.
Mau investasi, bikin pusing bukan kepala.
Aku bingung caranya, kenyamanannya.
Harus punya uang berapa,
atau punya asuransi kalau mesti kemana.
Wema-nya dong aplikasi investasi BCA. Mulai dari 100.000 bisa langsung investasi di Wema. Tambah lengkap dengan proteksi, semua ada di Wema BCA.
The digital era continues to move as a result of technological advances and globalization. Bank Negara Indonesia is proud of having the opportunity to take part in playing active roles in paving the way for Indonesian banking in keeping with the digital era. Currently, we are moving to create a digital platform and prepare experts for acceleration in digital banking. Our Go Global concept is one of the roles in accelerating economic change for the better. With the presence of Explorer, we encourage the digitization of micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as companies in Indonesia to go international by utilizing BNI's overseas network. BNI, serving the country, the pride of the nation.
Today, as the world prepares to move forward, businesses across the globe are looking to forge a new path, ready to use their creativity, entrepreneurial spirit, and a digital transformation to drive their nation's economies for the benefit of all. Digital platforms such as Gojek, GoPay and Tokopedia have played an important role in helping governments accelerate the digital transformation. Digitalisation of MSMEs supports governments across the world as we promote global digital transformation to recover together, recover stronger.
The micro, small and medium enterprises or MSME sector plays an important role as the backbone of the national economy. Sampurna has long been committed to the development of MSMEs in Indonesia and in 2008 established the Sampurna Retail Community (SRC) to develop traditional retailers. In 2021, SRC members have reached 160,000 retailers spread across 34 provinces throughout the country. Development programs range from education and direct assistance on store and financial management, business development, distribution support for other MSME products through to digital skills training. Retailer members are also equipped with the IO SRC application to help increase MSME's competitiveness, as well as expanding their businesses and market access amidst the digital transformation era. During the pandemic, SRC members are also trained and encouraged to implement health and safety protocols. Together, we can help advance and strengthen MSMEs in Indonesia.
IFG, Indonesia Financial Group. Kami hadir untuk menjadi kekuatan baru yang ada untuk melakukan perubahan di Indonesia, dari bangsa untuk bangsa. Kami bekerja dengan skala yang besar, dengan tata kelola perusahaan dan manajemen risiko yang cermat dan seksama. Dengan kekuatan besar yang terkonsolidasi, menyatukan segala pikiran dan usaha berbagai anak perusahaan yang dari dulu selalu ada untuk Anda. Menjamin keamanan dan kesejahteraan siapapun yang ingin maju, baik di jalan, usaha, dan kehidupan. Menjaga keseimbangan finansial lewat produk keuangan dan pasar modal. Dan tentunya memberikan perlindungan kepada segenap lapisan masyarakat Indonesia. Ini adalah saatnya kami membawa setiap orang, setiap usaha, dan setiap impian untuk masing-masing punya kekuatan membangun masa depan finansial yang terbaik dan membawa kita semua untuk besar bersama. IFG, Power to Progress.
60 years ago, a Chinese Indonesian called Mokhtar Riyadi moved to Jakarta with dreams of banking. 3 decades later, he transformed its banking landscape and laid foundations for Panin Bank, Lippo Bank, and Indonesia's now largest private bank, BCA. So he moved to real estate and used that same financial acumen to build Lippo into the largest listed property developer of the world's 4th most populous nation. Then he took on education, building schools for Indonesia's young population and creating Universitas Pelita Harapan, now with 15,000 students and ranked best in class. And as Asia boomed, next generation Riyadis helped Lippo meet Indonesia's exciting new needs. Malls for an expanding middle class, media for transparency, infrastructure for enhanced communication, banks and funds for wealth and job creation. As Indonesia gained the respect of investors far beyond its home nation, so did Lippo. Today, a Lippo Group company owns the US Bank Tower in LA and landmark properties around the globe. Lippo began as a family business with global dreams and became a global business for every stage of family life. And as it keeps growing, the principles that delivered success to Dr. Riyadi from 1954 will always be at the Lippo Group core.
Nunggu dompet.
Coba pakai mobile cash deh.
Ini.
Lagi ngapain, men?
Ya lagi ngantri.
Buka tabungan online aja. Di sini aja, lebih gampang.
Gue beli ini nih, men.
Ajuin online aja, bro. Pakai ini.
Ini. Wih, gokil.
Yes. Gimana KTA-nya?
Approve, bro.
Energy moves us forward passionately to explore opportunities, to make a million dreams come true. Pertamina believes we can go faster and better while keeping in harmony with the sustainability of our Earth's future. With various energy transition initiatives, Pertamina provides clean and environmentally friendly energy from diverse local sources. The warmth of the sun produces low-emission energy. The abundance of geothermal ignites life on every front, meeting energy needs by reducing emissions, protecting biodiversity, and preserving the green earth. Let's move towards our shared goal. Preserve nature, support sustainability, protect the future of our home, our only Earth. Pertamina, energizing sustainable future, energizing you.
Satu Indonesia, or Astra's unified spirit for Indonesia, exemplifies Astra's active role and contribution in the pursuit of nurturing the people of Indonesia. It brings every commitment, venture, and work under a common framework and creates added values for the nation's progress. Throughout the years, since founded in 1957, Astra has consistently shown real contribution, dedicated to move Indonesia forward. As a company, Astra has grown and today manages over 180,000 employees and over 200 subsidiaries across the archipelago. In line with one of Astra's corporate philosophy, Catur Dharma values, to be an asset to the nation, Astra has an unwavered commitment to social contributions for Indonesia. The company's endeavors in this regard are designed to be effective and robustly structured, identifying 4 pillars of Astra untuk Indonesia Sehat, Astra untuk Indonesia Cerdas, Astra untuk Indonesia Hijau, and Astra untuk Indonesia Kreatif. Supported by 9 foundations under the company, Astra makes it a conscious effort to take an active part in and dedicating its ideas and work to the nation for a prosperous and dignified Indonesia. Astra untuk Indonesia Sehat. The well-being of a nation lies on the well-being of its future generations. To ensure it can be achieved, the health of mothers and children are a priority of Astra untuk Indonesia Sehat. Astra is committed to protect and improve their health as they form healthy communities and societies. In turn, Astra believes they determine the quality of our overall well-being. Astra untuk Indonesia Cerdas. Greater access to and improved quality of education and vocational skills open the doors to better life quality. Astra is therefore committed to shaping smart, self-reliant generations. Astra works to tap into the knowledge and skills of Indonesia's human capital. As education in Indonesia is important for Astra, Astra ensures that Indonesian children can benefit from quality education as a tool for them to transform their lives for the better. Astra untuk Indonesia Hijau. A healthy and clean environment are essential for us to move forward in life. Through Astra untuk Indonesia Hijau, Astra acts upon its commitment to creating a healthy, safe, and sustainable environment. With global warming presenting real threats to our planet's survival, Astra is actively involved in various programs for a greener Earth as part of its contribution to improving the quality of our environment. Our planet and the future await us and the millions of other beings on Earth. Astra untuk Indonesia Kreatif. Through Astra untuk Indonesia Kreatif, Astra is on the ground working alongside communities to improve their prosperity by helping and facilitating small and medium businesses all over Indonesia. Astra provides training, coaching, funding, and equipment suited to the needs of the beneficiaries with one goal in mind: raising the nation's prosperity by creating excellent human capital and decent jobs. 133 Kampung Berseri Astra across 34 provinces focus on the development of villages based on 4 pillars, which include entrepreneurship, health, education, and environment. Kampung Berseri Astra continues to be developed based on the numbers and concepts towards Desa Sejahtera Astra. Satu Indonesia Awards. Satu Indonesia Awards is a form of appreciation towards the Indonesian youth who have the initiatives and idealism to share and create benefits for the communities. The awards have 5 main focuses, which include health, education, environment, entrepreneurship, and technology. Since March 2020 until today, Astra, through Nurani Astra, maintains its commitment to help the government, frontline health workers, and the community in facing the COVID-19 pandemic in Indonesia. To be an asset to the nation, Astra continues to embrace and work towards realizing Indonesia's dreams and to achieve sustainable growth, because your smile and the smile of the people are the smile of Astra, the smile of Indonesia. We are united, and together we shall achieve triumph as we walk towards an advanced and prosperous Indonesia. Astra, prosper with the nation.
digunakan dalam berbagai aspek dalam kehidupan kita. Melaju cepat, dinamis, dan relevan sesuai dengan perkembangan zaman. Memberikan energi untuk masa depan Indonesia yang berkelanjutan.
Ya, keberlanjutan itu sangat penting sekali ya buat Indika Energi ya. Dan itu mencakup bukan hanya di operasional kegiatan usaha yang saat ini saja, tetapi juga untuk pengembangan bisnis di masa mendatang gitu ya. Dan kita juga sudah berkomitmen untuk mencapai net carbon atau net zero emission sebelum 2050. Ya, sektor industri kendaraan berbasis listrik itu menjadi salah satu sektor penting di dalam strategi diversifikasinya Indika Energi. Ya, dan kita ingin berpartisipasi di dalam pengembangan ekosistem kendaraan listrik ini, baik itu dari hulu maupun sampai ke hilir. Ya, kami ingin pula berpartisipasi di dalam pengembangan pembangkit listrik tenaga surya. Ya, terutama untuk sektor komersial, industrial, dan tentu saja untuk sektor utilitas. Ya. Kami yakin bahwa tenaga surya ini akan menjadi suatu solusi yang berkelanjutan, aman, serta kompetitif.
Dengan eksistensi selama 5 dekade di bidang energi dan pertambangan, Indika Energi melakukan diversifikasi bisnis ke berbagai sektor dengan mengutamakan prinsip berkelanjutan.
Ya, Indika Energi ingin berpartisipasi di dalam pengembangan solusi berbasis alam, energi biomas, kehutanan energi, agroforestry, ya, ataupun konservasi ekosistem dan juga pengembangan masyarakat. Iya, ada beberapa provinsi di mana kami berinvestasi. Ya, salah satunya adalah di Sulawesi Selatan, di mana kami berinvestasi di pertambangan emas, yang merupakan salah satu pertambangan non batubara, di mana merupakan bagian daripada diversifikasi kami.
Indika Energi terus berkontribusi mewujudkan Indonesia maju, kuat, dan sejahtera. Memberikan energi untuk masa depan Indonesia yang berkelanjutan.
Inspired by the everlasting golden rays of the sun, which gives light and life, Eka Cipta Wijaya began his business, now known as Sinar Mas, in the city of Makassar in 1938. Fueled by the founder's passion and indomitable spirit, Sinar Mas has now flourished into 7 main pillars of business that provide products and services to cater to daily necessities. First, Asia Pulp and Paper. Paper has become an integral part of daily life, from stationery to food packaging. To cater to this demand, Asia Pulp and Paper, Sinar Mas or APP, Sinar Mas, produces paper pulp, paper, tissue and plastic packaging, with sales to over 150 countries, while applying principles of sustainable forest management. Second, agribusiness and food. To cater to the demand for high-quality food and nutrition, Sinar Mas Agribusiness and Food has successfully produced high-quality palm oil derivatives. Sinar Mas, through Golden Agri Resources, operates integrated palm oil estates, which focus on sustainable production of palm oil, while increasing production of high value-added goods, such as biodiesel, a renewable and sustainable fuel. Third, Sinar Mas Land. Everyone aspires to have a nice and comfortable home. Sinar Mas, through Sinar Mas Land, which operates in the developer and real estate sector, has developed a number of successful integrated towns and smart cities. Sinar Mas Land also develops hotel, industrial and business districts, as well as trade and shopping centers in Indonesia, other Asian countries and Europe. Fourth, financial services. Economic activities are part and parcel of our everyday lives. Sinar Mas, through Sinar Mas Financial Services, provides various services which include insurance, securities, multi-finance, banking, and other services to provide integrated solutions for the community. Fifth, communication and technology. Likewise, communication has become an indispensable part of everyday life. In the telecommunications sector, SmartFriend has emerged as the leading provider for telecommunications services, including cellular data. Furthermore, the arrival of My Republic has enhanced its offering with the provision of triple play services. In line with rapid technological advancement and digital transformation, Sinar Mas is steadfast in pursuing innovation and has spread its wings in the digital sector. Sinar Mas believes that technology innovation will play a critical role in shaping the future. Sixth, energy and infrastructure. Energy is essential to life. For this reason, Sinar Mas Energy and Infrastructure is a business pillar engaged in electricity generation, coal mining and trading, infrastructure and multimedia. 7. Healthcare. Sinar Mas continues to strengthen its commitment in the healthcare sector. Sinar Mas believes that access to quality healthcare is the foundation of a nation's resilience. In addition, Sinar Mas is dedicated to strengthening education initiatives so that the quality of skilled human resources can be improved. Through various social initiatives, Sinar Mas also endeavors to support the welfare of the community to build a better Indonesia. Every single one of Sinar Mas's business enterprises is established as an independent entity based on the same values and history, and as a brand, Sinar Mas is managed by the President Office, which bridges communication within the business pillars of Sinar Mas, as well as with external parties. Based on integrity, positive attitude, commitment, continuous improvement, innovative and loyal, Sinar Mas continues to grow both on the national and global scale. Sinar Mas, the nation's asset for the people's welfare.
The world is changing at unparalleled pace. We are facing increasing pressure from global challenges. Despite these challenges, our world has made great strides in advancing growth. The global economy is recovering, and this is our chance to shape a better future for our planet and our people.
Since its establishment in 2010, the Business 20 or B20 has served as the voice of the business community in the G20 forum. Together, B20 participants are committed to making impact in the world, voicing out their ideas to push private-led economic transformation forward.
As business leaders in the Group of 20, the future relies on you to find lasting solutions to our current global challenges and pave the way forward.
This year, Indonesia is honored to be the host of the G20 and B20 summits. As the fourth largest nation, the biggest economy in Southeast Asia, and one of the world's most prominent emerging markets, Indonesia is home to 270 million consumers, 63 million MSMEs, and 12 tech unicorns. Boasting rapid digital growth and emerging sustainable development, Indonesia truly is a land of opportunities. Under this year's theme of advancing innovative, inclusive, and collaborative growth, the B20 stands ready to promote dialogue among business players in G20 countries, provide policy recommendations, and launch initiatives on issues that matter. The themes are aligned with the key messages from inception meeting.
Berharap komunitas B20 akan memberikan tawaran-tawaran konkret yang bisa menjadi bagian dari capaian konkret KTT G20.
And the leadership of governments like Indonesia is going to be absolutely essential in this decisive decade of our climate fight.
The B20 has established several task forces to push progress forward and ensure that we will create recommendations that are actionable, sustainable, and inclusive. These task forces will represent the business community and advocate policy recommendations to the government. In this B20 presidency, we are committed to creating legacy programs that lay foundation for positive, lasting impact across G20 countries, marked by big new ideas, international collaboration, and tangible as well as sustainable impact, prototype in Indonesia and to be scaled globally. We welcome you to become a part of our journey toward a better tomorrow. Join us at the B20 Summit on November 13th and 14th, 2022, and let's collaborate to bring positive, lasting change for our world.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us and welcome to the B20-G20 Dialogue Women in Business Action Council. For those of you who are attending this event virtually, we recommend you to use your headphones for better sound quality. In addition, we have also provided translation help in English and Bahasa Indonesia. For our participants in the ballroom, the translation aid is located on the right side of the ballroom. And for those of you who have arrived in the ballroom, please take your seats as we'll begin our events shortly. Thank you.
Good evening. It's really a pleasure to be with you. Pleasure and an honor to be in.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have provided translation help in English and Bahasa Indonesia. For our participants here in the ballroom, the translation aid is located on the right side of the ballroom. Thank you.
It's really a pleasure to be with you. Pleasure and an honor to be invited.
Bapak Ibu sekalian yang kami hormati, semoga kabar baik semuanya. Bapak Ibu sekalian selamat datang dan kami ingatkan bahwa alat interpreter telah kami siapkan dalam bahasa Inggris dan juga bahasa Indonesia dan lokasinya ada di sebelah kanan ballroom. Terima kasih.
terobosan-terobosan dan aksi nyata untuk berkontribusi
memberikan hasil yang konkret dan actionable.
Di mana tingkat kesenjangan partisipasi gender di dunia usaha yang tadinya gapnya mengecil trennya, tapi karena pandemi COVID-19 ini gapnya jadi membesar lagi. Semua data sudah menunjukkan kalau perempuan yang terlibat, perempuan yang masuk, pasti kita akan mendapatkan hasil yang akan lebih baik.
We've received many supportive and also encouraging feedback.
The workplace into areas where they are underrepresented. It's also something that is going to allow for more entrepreneurship by women.
Of the journey of a woman throughout her business, being an employee or an employer.
I have a strong belief that success, especially for women, is built upon an emancipating, secure, and enabling environment.
This effort would be much more effective if investor and private sector also increase collaboration to support women entrepreneurs.
We still need to provide support, technical support and other support, so that women entrepreneur is going to be then have the capacity technically as well as financially literate, so that they are going to be able to then become a real good and resilient entrepreneur.
Women are also one of the most critical drivers of economic recovery and long-term financial stability.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace be upon you. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everyone's doing very well. My name is Amelia, and I'm so incredibly happy and proud to be here to be a part of this incredible day. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the B20-G20 Dialogue Women in Business Action Council, advancing women in the global economy through the One Global Women Empowerment. My name is Amelia. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so incredibly happy, so very proud to be here, to be a part of this incredible day as your MC and host for today's event. So for your information, this event complies with the health regulations and COVID-19 regulations in Indonesia. So all the guests here, speakers and crew, including myself, have all been fully vaccinated and have all tested negative for COVID-19. And ladies and gentlemen, in addition, we have also provided translation help in English and Bahasa Indonesia. And for everyone here in the ballroom, you may get your translation aid located just right on the right side of the ballroom, right over there. And ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, I would like to thank everyone for allocating your precious time in your busy schedules to attend this event. To start, please allow me to extend our warmest welcome to our guests of honor and to our speakers. His Excellency, Mr. Erlangga Hartarto, the Coordinating Minister of Economic Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia. Also, Her Excellency, Ms. I Gusti Ayu Bintang Darmawati, the Minister of Women Empowerment and Child Protection of the Republic of Indonesia. And would also like to welcome Her Excellency Ms. Smriti Irani, the Minister for Women and Child Development Government of India, as well as Her Excellency Baroness Deborah Stedman Scott, the Minister for Women of the Government of the United Kingdom, as well as His Excellency Mr. Owen Jenkins, the Ambassador of the United Kingdom for Indonesia and Timor-Leste. Would also like to welcome Her Excellency Ms. Nadia Berger, the Ambassador of Canada designate to Indonesia and Timor-Leste, and His Excellency Mr. Manoj Kumar Bharti, the Ambassador of India to Indonesia. And would also like to sincerely welcome Mr. Arshad Rashid, the Chairman of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry or Kadin, Ms. Shinta Kamdani, the Chair of B20 Indonesia 2022, and Ms. Ira Noviarti, the Chair of B20 Women in Business Action Council and the President Director of Unilever Indonesia. Ms. Nicole Mans-Bazawi, the Director of Women's Economic Empowerment of the U.S. Department of State, and Ms. Yesi Yosetia, the Chair of G20 Empower, as well as Ms. Uli Silalahi, the Chair of W20. Our distinguished speakers and participants joining us online through Zoom, and Ms. Diane Wang, the co-chair of B20 Women in Business Action Council and the founder, chairperson, and CEO of DHgate, as well as Ms. Shobana Kamineni, the past president of CII and the chair of the Confederation of the Indian Industry of the Trade Fairs Council, and Ms. Nicole Scoble-Williams, the Global Future of Work Leader of Deloitte, Mr. Matthias Thorns, the Deputy Secretary General of the International Organization of Employers, and all of our co-chairs, CEO, and leaders of companies who support and are all part of the One Global Women Empowerment Platform, fellow media members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Before we start our great day here, and ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, before we start, I would like to please allow me to give you a short background of our events. So this event was initiated by the B20 Women in Business Action Council with the main theme of advancing women in the global economy through the One Global Women Empowerment. The B20 Indonesia Women in Business Action Council, or WiBAC, has taken specific policy areas that have been emphasized in the previous B20 recommendations and developed concrete actions to address women issues while being mindful of the diverse set of economies and populations across the G20. And there are 3 strategic imperatives to achieve this very dialogue, which will be explained in the later sessions by our great speakers. And today's event is also supported by our main sponsors, PT Astra International Tbk, PT Bayan Resources Tbk, PT Indica Energy Tbk, and Sinar Mas. Our bronze sponsors, April Group, Bakri Group, PT Bank Sentral Asia Tbk, PT Bank Negara Indonesia, PT Elang Mahkota Teknologi Tbk, PT Goto Gojek Tokopedia Tbk, PT HM Sampurna Tbk, PT Indonesia Financial Group, PT Pertamina, Indofood, Lipo Group, Permata Bank, and Telkom Indonesia. Our knowledge partner, Deloitte. And our network partners, International Chamber of Commerce and UN Women. On behalf of our dearest hosts and committee, we would like to extend our profound gratitude to all of them and to each and every single one of you here. So to start, let us give everyone here a big round of applause. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we start our dialogue, please allow me to invite Ms. Ira Noviarti, the chair of the B20 Women in Business Action Council and the president director of Unilever Indonesia, to deliver her welcoming remarks. Let us give her a big round of applause.
Honorables, Coordinating Minister of Economic Affairs, Republik of Indonesia, Bapak Erlangga Hartanto, Minister of Women Empowerment and Child Protections, Republik of Indonesia, Ibu I Gusti Ayu Bintang Darmawati, Minister for Women and Child Development, Government of India, Ms. Smriti Irani, Ambassador of United Kingdom to Indonesia and Timor-Leste, Mr. Owen Jenkins, Ambassador Designate of Canada to Indonesia and Timor-Leste, Ms. Nadia Berger, Ambassador of the Embassy of India to Indonesia, Mr. Manoj Kumar Bharti, Senior Economy Policy Advisor, Secretary's Office of Global Women Issues, U.S. Department of State, Ms. Nicole Wans Bazol, Head of Development Cooperations, Australian Embassy, Ms. Kristen Bishop, Distinguished Chairman of the Indonesia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Bapak Arsyad Rashid, B20 Indonesia Chair, Ibu Sinta Kamdani, W20 and G20 Empower, and all of participants joining us at Sofitel Nusa Dua, Bali, via Zoom today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen all around the globe. Thank you for your presence and participations in today's dialogue, where we look forward to receiving your inputs on the policy recommendations and where we will also present a tangible and practical initiative to foster women inclusions in the global economy through participations in the One Global Women Empowerment Platform. Across the globe, women continue to be overrepresented in the informal economy while being underrepresented in managerial positions. The inherent inequalities behind this have been further worsened in recent years with the COVID-19 pandemic. Naturally, these issues have been a focus of the G20, and under the Indonesia G20 presidency, the B20 Women in Business Action Council, with the exceptional support from our co-chairs, knowledge partners, Deloitte, and members, has put forth 3 strategic imperatives that will enable us to accelerate inclusions of women in the global economy. First is about empowering women entrepreneurs by establishing critical ecosystem that enables access to finance, legal, and entrepreneurial assistance, and to develop a global women business network to stimulate cross-border knowledge sharing and investment. Second is about enabling women's digital and leadership capabilities by equipping more girls with digital and STEM skills, as well as providing leadership skills and facilitating a common gender reporting. And third is about promoting safe and equitable workplace by improving job security and develop policies, strategies, and approach to prevent gender-based violence in the workplace. These recommendations, if addressed in tandem, can have a multiplier effect as a positive outcomes gained in one area can lead to improvement in another. It is therefore essential that the recommendations be implemented holistically across G20 countries as a priority. Taking our effort a step further, today we will also launch the One Global Women Empowerment Platform as a tangible and practical platform in bringing together capabilities and network to accelerate and scale initiative to support women-led businesses and empower women at work. One Global Women Empowerment, or we call it OGWE, will act as a bridge to connect women empowerment efforts between successive G20 and B20 presidencies, enabling the continuations of effort from Indonesia to India to Brazil and beyond. OGWE will provide 5 key objectives pillar to women MSMEs and women at work, which is about digital capabilities, providing access to digital capabilities and infrastructure. Second is about knowledge sharing, providing access to cross-border information and best practices. Third is about funding and investment, providing access to cross-border financing. Fourth is about technical support, providing access to coaching and technical assistance. And fifth is about supportive policy, accelerating availability of policies to alleviate key issues. I'm looking forward to receiving your support and input, and we hope this dialogue can help strengthen the cross-border collaborations to recover together and recover stronger. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Iranofiarti, for always showing us to dream with ambition and to lead with conviction. Thank you very much, Ibu, for your support, for your guidance, and for your leadership. And next, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, for our next remarks, it is with the greatest pleasure that I shall invite on stage the chair of B20 Indonesia to deliver her opening remarks. Let us all welcome Ms. Shinta Kamdani.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, Bapak Airlangga Hartarto, the Coordinating Minister of Economic Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia. Of course, our own, Your Excellency, I Gusti Ayu Bintang Darmawati, Minister of Women Empowerment and Child Protection of the Republic of Indonesia. Thank you, Ibu. I know this is a very busy time for you, but I think this is an important process that we have to go through to have a consultation with the G20. And I'm also honored to have here with us Your Excellency Smriti Irani, the Minister of Women and Child Development of India, who will be our next host next year. And also Your Excellency Baroness Deborah Stedman-Scott, the Minister for Women from the government of UK. Thank you very much for being here. Of course, representations also from the Ambassador Owen Jenks from the British Ambassador for Indonesia, and also Your Excellency Nadia Berger from Canada to Indonesia, and also our own Your Excellency Manoj Kumar-Bharti, the Indian Ambassador for Indonesia. Thank you very much for being here. I cannot name one by one, but I would like to really give our highest appreciation. A good friend also, Jamset for UN Women, thank you for being here, and all for the support that you have been given us. Ladies and gentlemen and all invited speakers, thank you for also for joining us virtually at the B20-G20 Dialogue on Women in Business Action Council. I think we have quite a number of participants virtually coming from all over the world. And those of you who are able to also come here physically, I'm truly grateful. Firstly, I want to also express our gratitude for the team, the B20 Women in Business Action Council led by Ibu Ira Novrianti and also Deputy Ibu Nurdiana Darus, and also our policy manager Maya Juwita, and of course our knowledge partner Deloitte Touche, so that we are able to already now today being able to finalize our policy recommendations. I think the variety of thoughts and aspirations from various countries represented by business across sector has helped us create inclusive policies for the greater B20 and G20 communities. Today, our dialogue aims to communicate our policy recommendation to the G20 government. And Ibu Ira has mentioned the three aspects that's important, which is opportunity to empower women to involve equally in the global economy. This is a very important issue of women in business. Also providing accessible and affordable sources of finance for women-led businesses, mitigating and provide key actionable action to address gender bias and stereotypes in the workplaces. These are really some of the issues that are currently faced by women in business. And I think this is very, very important to be addressed and part of what we are doing in shaping the policy recommendation. I think the business members of the B20 WiBAC have carefully addressed this issue through months of constructive meetings. And in the following, Ibu Ira has shared the three main policy recommendations which emphasize the critical condition that we should be continuously pushing forward to the G20 government. To this end, actually, we in total in the B20, we have 7, so 6 task forces and 1 action council. And I would like to share with you some of the areas in advancing as MSME, including women-led MSME, in other task forces. For example, in the digitalization task force, we have initiated the digital use case library for MSME that provide concrete example to share and promote best practice in advancing digital skills. Also, in the finance and infrastructure task force, the B20 community has agreed to improve access to affordable and suitable sources of financing for women in business. In the Trade and Investment Task Force, we are currently developing the inclusive closed-loop flywheel ecosystem as one of the partnership schemes that symbolize multi-stakeholder collaboration between the government, the private sectors, MSME, to provide technical support, capacity building, and business matchmaking to increase female MSME participation and access to the global market. And also in the Future of Work and Education Task Force, the B20 community has acknowledged the importance of advancing women participation in STEM. Therefore, our B20 Task Force of Future of Work and Education has advocated the cooperation for technical and vocational education and training. Beyond the alignment of various B20 task force, we aim to also further reinforce the importance of the B20 priority topics by introducing B20 legacy program that are designed to be more than just one-time initiative, lasting and beyond Indonesia presidency. We have initiated 2 potential legacy programs that support the WiBAC priorities. One was mentioned already, the One Global Women Empowerment. And second, we have also the B20 Wiki that will set up enablers to equip small enterprises with the required capability to unlock their full potential for scaling up, empowered by cross-country collaboration and supported by digital transformation to encourage them to tap into the global supply chain market. This is aligned with the focus of B20 Women in Business Action Council to help enable women digital and leadership capability so they can thrive more in their businesses. The process to actualize the solution will not stop here. Not merely through this dialogue, we need to continue to push and leverage collaboration among businesses, players, and between also government in the next few months. As the chair of the B20, I have a strong belief that each and every single of us here, whether you are the CEO, the big businesses, or MSME, is a significant actor to today's global economic transformation. More than ever, the B20 summit that will be held on 13 and 14 of November this year in Bali will not only pose to shape the global priorities, but also to facilitate networking interaction and explore new business opportunity through trade and investment matching, and even prior to the B20 summit. With your valuable insight and concrete partnership, we are aiming to enable more privately-led transformation. Therefore, I cordially invite you to join our summit and networking that can be accessed through the link presented in this slide. To this event, I look forward to having a very constructive discussion and hearing how we can enact the various policy recommendations and legacy to support the acceleration of women in business together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shinta Kamdani, for always empowering us to do our best. And ladies and gentlemen, next it is with the greatest honor and pleasure that we shall invite on stage the Minister of Women Empowerment and Child Protection of the Republic of Indonesia. Let us all welcome Her Excellency Ms. I Gusti Ayu Bintang Darmawati to deliver her keynote speech. Let us give Her Excellency the biggest round of applause.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, Honorable Bapak Erlangga Hartanto, Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs, Republic of Indonesia, Excellencies, Minister for Women Empowerment and Ambassador for Indonesia, Ibu Ira Noviarti, Chair Women in Business Action Council and President Director Unilever Indonesia, Ibu Shinta Kamdani, Chair B20 Indonesia, distinguished speakers and participants, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, allow me to express my sincere appreciation to all distinguished speakers and participants joining us today in this meaningful discussion. This week is a special week for women empowerment, as tomorrow the Ministry of Women Empowerment and Child Protection of the Republic of Indonesia will also host the Ministerial Conference on Women Empowerment at the same place at this hotel. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to date, Indonesian women labor force participation rate is still far behind men, which is 54.27%, compares 83.65%. For those who are able to join the workplace, their career development is also hampered by the existence of the glass ceiling effect, even though they perform just as well as men. This is such a pity, as women are one of the most critical drivers of economic recovery and long-term financial stability, especially because half of our population are women and most are of working age. Therefore, honing women potential and supporting women economic empowerment should be highlighted as part of the national and global strategy to bounce back from the pandemic and reach a prosperous future. The government of Indonesia is committed to achieving gender mainstreaming, including in the workplace as mentioned in the National Medium-Term Development Plan 2020 to 2024 and several other regulations such as Presidential Instruction on Gender Mainstreaming and National Development, Impres number 9 of the year 2000. At the global level, Indonesia is also committed to supporting the G20 Brisbane goal to reduce the gender gap in labor force participation by 25% in 2025. This year's G20 presidency of Indonesia give opportunities to address this issue at home and among G20 member countries. The government of Indonesia work closely with business sector, and one of the main priorities is to increase women representation in leadership position in the private sector. Through the G20 Empower initiative, the advocate also have a statement to encourage companies to promote gender equality and women empowerment in the world of work. At the ministerial level, the President of Indonesia has mandated 5 priority programs of the years 2024 to our ministry, and the first priority, increasing women empowerment in entrepreneurship with a gender perspective, has been given particular importance. This is because studies have shown that when women are economically empowered, they are more willing to invest their income to their children's nutrition, health, and education, promoting sustainable development for future generations. Financially independent women will also improve family welfare, which could give them the means to prevent and exit abusive relationship and reduce the risk of child exploitation practices and child marriage, which are problems that are often associated with poverty. We have also collaborated with UN Women to develop the guideline of gender responsive business in Indonesia. The guideline can be a reference error for public and private sector to apply the women empowerment principle in the business world. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to underline once again that gender equality is beneficial for not only women, but also all sectors and citizens of the world. Therefore, empowering women is everybody's business. Today, I would like to invite everyone who joined here today to work together to create an enabling environment for women economic empowerment and also improve their competencies and work so that not only we could increase women labor force participation rate, but could also support women the risk of decision-making position. Thank you and have a fruitful meeting. When women are empowered and children are well protected, prosperity will be available for all. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Santi 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 Om.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let us give Her Excellency the biggest round of applause. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Ms. I Gusti Ayu Bintang Darmawati. They say that empowering women is the key to building the future that we want and that we need. So, Your Excellency, we thank you for always making sure of that. And ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, next, we would like to move on to the G20 responding remarks on B20 Women in Business Action Council. And this session will be moderated by the Policy Manager of B20 Women in Business Action Council and the Executive Director of Indonesia Business Coalition for Women Empowerment. Let us all welcome our moderator, Ms. Maya Juwita. Let's give her a big round of applause.
So good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen around the globe. We believe that when we provide equal opportunities for women, entire communities, economies, and countries will benefit. The World Economic Forum estimates that empowering women to participate equally in the global economy could add $28 trillion in GDP growth. However, persistent challenges remain, which have been exacerbated by COVID-19. Many of these are not new and have been raised in previous G20 and B20 as well as other fora. Under the Indonesia G20 presidency, the Women in Business Action Councils recommend proven and actionable steps that G20 government can take to improve gender equality in the workforce, as well as practical steps to build, accelerate, and scale women-led businesses from subsistence to growth. This will support job creation, help bring more women out of poverty, enable more innovation, and help further spur social and economic development. Our recommendations are focused on three policy objectives: empowering women entrepreneurs, enabling women's digital and leadership capabilities, and promoting safe and equitable workplace. Tonight, it is with the great honors and pleasure that I shall welcome the representative G20 leaders who joining us in today's dialogue to give the support and input on how best to implement them for the greatest impact. I would like to invite the following leaders to join me on the stage. Her Excellency Smriti Irani, the Minister for Women and Child Development, Government of India. Her Excellency Baroness Deborah Stedman Scott, the Minister for Women, Government of United Kingdom. Her Excellency Nadia Berger, the Ambassador Designate of Canada to Indonesia and Timor-Leste. Last but not least, Ms. Nicole Mans-Bazawi, Director of Women's Economic Empowerment, U.S. Department of State. Please be seated, Ibu-Ibu. So thank you for joining us tonight. I would like to give the first session, since we don't have much of time today. I would like to give the first session to Ibu Smriti Irani to deliver your remark. You will have
2.5 minutes exactly to give your remarks to us on the policy recommendation that I believe you have been received before we even.
I think that challenges before women are aplenty. Time for solutions is less. Time to articulate that solution is even lesser. But we are joined by many and eminent voices today who are bringing central to all conversations the potential of women. I am quite blessed that I represent a nation where the Prime Minister leads from the front and he says, much of our history has been dedicated to women's development. Now is a time when we celebrated 75 years of our independence, that women lead the development of the nation as a whole. We have seen how financial independence empowers not only women and families, but communities at large. In our country, the Prime Minister's flagship scheme for financial independence, Jan Dhan Yojana, has ensured that 230 million Indian women have now opened their bank accounts for the first time in their lifetime. That having access to sanitation is not only the right of a woman, but also a matter of a dignified life, was brought to the fore when the Prime Minister, in his first speech from the ramparts of the Red Fort, pledged that every woman in our country will have a household individual toilet. Today, I'm happy to share with this august audience that over 110 million individual household toilets were built specifically for women in my country. That women have the potential that can be entrepreneurially unleashed was a subject of much debate and deliberation. But when the Prime Minister started a flagship scheme called Mudra, which wanted to give access to credit to those who are in the SME segment, that too without collateral, not many in India, or for that matter, any part of the world, imagine that close to 70% of those who benefited would be women. When there was a conversation about enhancing credit, we saw that in a digitized economy, over 80% of the beneficiaries turned out to be women, which meant that women have much potential. They needed a policy framework which was just, which was enabling. Today, as we step into our celebrations of the 76th year of independence, much can be said about women in my country, where the Mars mission was manned by women, where, as we speak, with many masks on our face, I pay tribute to over 6 million Indian women who, as scientists, doctors, and frontline workers, not only protected communities in my country in the pandemic, but also ensured that over 2 billion vaccine doses were administered. Which brings us to this particular forefront, where we wonder why still many challenges have been unaddressed. As one of our esteemed speakers this evening said, that many women find themselves as a part of the informal segments of economies across the globe and not informal occupations. And I think that is the pledge that we can take. Why do women get pushed into the informal corners of our economies? Is because that is where compromises are made on rights. I think that today I can very safely say that not only women who have joined me on this dais, but also the gentlemen who are partaking in this deliberation know the time has come that for bringing about change to ensuring not only our economy is strengthened, not only are we digitally empowered, but also as we want to better protect our communities, one has to, as the Prime Minister of my country says, put women first.
Your Excellency, thank you for your remark. I can agree. This is the time for everyone to join. So I would like to give the second remark to Your Excellency Ibu Deborah Stedman Scott for your remarks.
Good evening. I'm delighted to be here this evening, delighted to be at the G20, and delighted to be in such a beautiful country. And I commend you on the way in which you serve your customers, in which you show such respect. And it's just lovely. I could take some of you home to teach us perhaps how to do that. It's a privilege to be invited by the B20 Women in Business Action Council to this important event and to speak today on something I am really passionate about. I've been the UK's Minister for Women since 2021 and had the privilege of meeting my fellow ministers and representatives from all over the world, including this week in Indonesia, who join me in championing gender equality. As we know, COVID-19 has hugely impacted the lives of people everywhere, and in many cases, women have felt the worst of those impacts. So, as we recover from the pandemic, we must reflect on both the new and existing challenges that prevent women and girls from reaching their full potential. Women have shouldered the increased unpaid care and domestic work burden, which further inhibits women from engaging in business and paid work that could ensure their empowerment and economic well-being. We are eager to share lessons and best practices on policies, investments and partnerships to address this burden and expand women's opportunities. Our collaboration with the Women's Business Council in the UK, which has been at the forefront of building business alliances as part of the G20 Empower initiative, demonstrates the positive steps that governments and business leaders working in partnership can achieve to increase women's economic participation. That is why efforts to support women's economic empowerment, such as the work we are celebrating here today, is more important than ever. I'm thrilled to hear more today about the One Global Woman Empowerment Platform, which will bring together networks to accelerate initiatives for supporting women-led businesses and empower women at work. I'm especially pleased that this platform connects women's empowerment and their efforts between successive G20 and B20 presidencies, enabling progress from Indonesia to India, Brazil and beyond. Am I? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. The UK has been working to achieve similar connections on gender equality with the G7 and with the She Trades Commonwealth platform, which supports women's owned business to trade by providing training and coaching, as well as breaking down barriers to trade faced by women. The objectives of the Women's Business Action Council focus on women entrepreneurs, women's digital access and leadership, and safe and equitable workplaces. I am really pleased to see empowering women entrepreneurs as a focus for Indonesia's G20 and the Action Council. This is a priority for me too. In the UK, only 1 in 3 entrepreneurs is a woman, which means we're missing out on 1.1 million potential businesses. Imagine how the world could benefit from empowering more women. In June, we launched the Women-led High Growth Enterprise Task Force in the UK. It's made up of some truly inspiring female entrepreneurs and just 1 man. No offence on that remark. They're all working together to inspire more women and entrepreneurs and help break down the barriers they face in the UK. Further entrepreneurship and digital access can also go hand in hand. Here in Indonesia, we've also done some tremendous work in the area of digital access, cybersecurity, and tech entrepreneurship through the Digital Access Programme. This programme works with female entrepreneurs, micro, small and medium enterprises, as well as underrepresented groups, collaborating with tech industry players and local governments all across the country. And finally, the third priority of the Action Council's safe and equitable workplaces, another priority we share in the UK. Everyone has the right to feel safe in their own workplace, and these spaces must provide equal opportunities and value the contribution made by both men and women. We know that on average, women still earn less than men over the course of their working lives. At home, we already require business to publish information on the gap between what men and women are paid, and now we are going further by calling on all employers to provide salary information in job adverts and to stop asking questions about previous earnings during recruitment. The intention is that by giving job applicants the tools to understand what their skills are worth and preventing them from being held back by their previous earnings, we can empower them to negotiate on a level playing field. Evidence shows that women will benefit most from this policy, but it will also help any underrepresented groups get their fairer pay for work. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I look forward to listening to everybody, but remember, as far as we are concerned, it's not what we say, it's what we do, and it's not what we promise, it's what we deliver. And I'm proud to sit and stand with so many of you today who are doing and delivering. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Deborah, for the remarks. It's glad to hear that it's also the UK government priority on this one. The next one, I would like to give the remark to Your Excellency Ibu Nadia Berger.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And I think it's a nice segue into inclusivity, because this conversation is very important, because it includes, of course, women business leaders, but also men around this table and around this conversation. So Canada is very delighted to be here and joining this very important conversation. Thank you and congratulations to the B20 Women in Business Action Council for the hard work in getting everything, the recommendation up to this point. And certainly from our perspective, the B20 really plays a critical role in facilitating the dialogue that we have with, of course, the international business focus, which is so key in terms of our prosperity across the G20 and, of course, beyond. So in terms of Canada's position, of course, we welcome the Women in Business Action Council's proposed B20 policy objectives and action. And an inclusive approach to trade is necessary, we think, in order to help ensure that the benefits of trade are more widely shared, particularly amongst underrepresented groups, including women, Indigenous peoples, and MSMEs. And in the interest of time, let me just highlight two priorities among others that also are consistent with Canada's own approach. So we have a women entrepreneur strategy that actually echoes a lot of the themes and the recommendation covered by the report. The first is access to finance. So we know that women entrepreneurs, and we've spoken about this today, face many barriers in finding equal access to financing, capital, and the capital that they need to start and grow their businesses. And among other measures designed to increase access to loans and to venture capital, Canada launched a new federally funded, so government-funded microloans fund for women entrepreneurs. And closely tied to this initiative is the issue of access to knowledge, of course. And as the B20 report highlights, the knowledge ecosystem extends to the finance, legal, digital tools that are needed for success. And to address this challenge, Canada has provided stable funding support through a national level Women Entrepreneurs Knowledge Hub, and that shares many of the themes and the actions that you highlight as part of the B20 proposed platform. So finally, to echo some of the comments made before, I really would like to underline Canada's commitment to the very fundamental idea that lies really at the heart of why we're here today, that is empowering women and including them, particularly including them in decision-making, really, truly, and is proven that it leads to building stronger economies and prosperities. There's a lot of studies about that, and this is a message we need to continue to convey. And that is, of course, something we believe in and we support. We really are, we're convinced, and I think all of us here today are too, that engaging, empowering women, supporting women in business leads all our societies to reach our full potential. especially at a time where we're recovering from a very difficult last 2 years, where many groups have suffered from the pandemic, socially, economically, and from a human perspective. So in many ways, measures to support women's entrepreneurship and empowerment are amongst the most cost-effective and smart policy measures any government can support. So be we women, men, G20 members, or beyond, it is in all of our interest to ensure that women, not only this generation, but the next generations, are heard, their voice are heard, and that we nurture their potential for leadership in the future. The prosperity of future generations depends on it, and the time for action is now. Merci. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency, for the remark. Last but not least, of course, I would like to give the remark to Ibu Nicole Mans-Bazawi. The time is yours.
Good evening, ministers, excellencies, gender advocates, friends, good evening. Thank you so much for inviting me to participate in this, and thank you for sharing the recommendations and conclusions from the Women in Business Action Committee of the B20. Clearly, women's economic security and empowerment is something that is critical to all of us, because no one nation or any nation can advance if half the population is left behind, right? We've heard this before, we've seen the numbers, we know that it's not just the right thing to do, it's the business responsible thing to do, it's the profitable thing to do, to include women and girls of working age in the economy, and I welcome the thoughtful research and conclusions and recommendations that you have put forward tonight. As we look, as the United States looks to implement our national strategy for gender equity and equality, we look at what are those pieces of women's economic security that we can really address and move the ball forward. And a number of the recommendations that you have put forward actually align with U.S. government strategies and priorities. You know, we're looking at things like, how do we prepare women to be able to find jobs and compete economically for well-paying and quality jobs that promote decent work, right? How do we address and advance the care infrastructure, which is something that is so critical for women to be able to actively participate? We know in COVID that many women and girls had to even leave the job or leave schools to take care of family members, whether it's additional children that had to stay home from schools, or the elderly, or persons with disabilities. Women are predominantly those responsible for care. So how do we advance care infrastructure and protections to help women enter or re-enter and re-engage in the workplace? We look at things like, how do you encourage entrepreneurship, right? And the financial and digital access and inclusion that has been mentioned. And this includes things like women's rights to own property, women's rights to own land, things that they can use for capital and access to financing, right? And then finally, and very importantly, is dismantling those systemic gender barriers, right? And you mentioned gender-based violence, which is absolutely something that we need to eliminate and mitigate those effects, whether that is actual physical violence or harassment or online harassment. These are things that keep women out of the workforce. And the things that you mentioned in your recommendations, including education, access to capital and finance, and most importantly, I think, networking and building that mentorship and building the capacity building and the upskilling, especially in things like STEM, is really, really important. So again, welcome the recommendations that have come. It definitely aligns with U.S. government priorities. And I certainly look forward to the continued discussion and learning more about your networking initiative. Thank you.
Well, it is truly wonderful and heartwarming to hear the great support and feedback towards our policy recommendation, which is also becoming the priority for all of the governments. I'm optimistic that we will advance the innovative, inclusive, and collaboration growth to recover together and recover stronger. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. And I hand over the session back to Amelia.
Thank you so much, Ibu Maya, and thank you to our dear speakers for allowing us to gain more insights through your responding remarks. You may now return to your seats, and once again, let's give them a big round of applause. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we thank Ms. Maya Juwita, Her Excellency Ms. Smriti Irani, Her Excellency Baroness Deborah Stedman Scott, Her Excellency Ms. Nadia Berger, and Ms. Nicole Mans-Bazoui. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to them once again for allowing us to gain more insights. They say that behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful women that have her back. So indeed, would like to thank you for having our backs and for your undying support and the success and well-being of women. And ladies and gentlemen, before we continue to the next agenda, once again, allow me to say thank you to our dearest sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, our main sponsors, PT Astra International Tbk, PT Bayan Resources Tbk, PT Indica Energy Tbk, and Sinarmas. Our bronze sponsors, April Group, Bakri Group, PT Bank Central Asia Tbk, PT Bank Negara Indonesia, PT Elang Mahkota Teknologi Tbk, PT Goto Gojek Tokopedia Tbk, PT HM Sampurna Tbk, PT Indonesia Financial Group, PT Pertamina, Indofood, Lipo Group, Permata Bank, and Telkom Indonesia. And our knowledge partner, Deloitte, and our network partners, International Chamber of Commerce and UN Women. And ladies and gentlemen, as part of the Great Legacy Program, B20 Women in Business Action Council will introduce and launch the One Global Women Empowerment Platform, which enables the implementation of the Great Actions, recommendations, and key imperatives. So without further ado, before we start our launch, I would like to present to you a video introduction of the One Global Women Empowerment Platform.
The future is you. The future is us. The future is women. Due to the lack of access, opportunity, and representation of women in strategic positions in the business world, the B20 presidency has a special board called Women in Business Action Council. Equal gender participation in a global economy could increase $28 trillion for global GDP growth by 2025. Unfortunately, women remain underrepresented in the global economy, and this further worsened by the COVID-19 pandemic. In response to this, we proposed 3 main themes in the B20 WiBAC policy and action recommendation final document that will serve as a bridge for the problem and opportunities in the business sector. First, empowering women entrepreneurs. Second, enabling women's digital and leadership capabilities. And third, promoting a fair and safe work environment for all. As a concrete step, B20 WiBAC have also designed the One Global Women Empowerment. So, how does it work? OGWE will connect women in business who are in need, such as women entrepreneurs and women in the workforce, with institutions and organizations that are able to provide the right support. There are 5 key goals which then become the pillars of One Global Women Empowerment: digital capability, knowledge sharing, funding and investment, technical support, and supportive policy. The OGWE platform will be run by a secretariat and be technologically enabled to provide the 5 C's of services: crowdsource, crowdfund, curate, clarify, and communicate. Is this enough? Not enough yet. To achieve these goals, we need a strong and continuous collaboration between the key stakeholders. So it comes together like this. One Global Women Empowerment, OGWE Key Actions, OGWE Key Stakeholders, OGWE Key Objectives, and OGWE Services. The better the cross-stakeholders collaboration, the faster the results of our efforts to bridge the gaps towards equal gender participation in a global economy. We will continue to focus on fighting for women's advancement in business and empower each other together. Let's collaborate, let's empower each other. One Global Women Empowerment.
Ladies and gentlemen, guaranteeing the rights of women and giving them the much-needed opportunities to reach their full potential is indeed critical, not only for attaining gender equality, but also for meeting a wide range of international development goals. So to gain deeper insights about the One Global Women Empowerment Platform, we'd like to invite the Deputy Chair of B20 Indonesia Women in Business Action Council to present the One Global Women Empowerment Platform. Let us all welcome Ms. Nurdiana Darus.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amelia. We've just heard that we need to fulfill the 3 strategic imperatives. Now the question is, how can we do that practically and achieve our vision to empower every woman in the global economy in the shortest period of time? The answer is OGWE, the One Global Women Empowerment Platform. OGWE is a platform that aggregates existing capacities and capabilities and networks to accelerate and scale impactful women empowerment efforts and programs globally, and thus enabling growth, development, and acceleration of women-led businesses and women in the workforce. It will engage key stakeholders such as governments, businesses, investors, philanthropists, CSOs, and service providers. OGWE will provide 5 key objective pillars to women MSMEs and women at work. The first is digital capabilities, providing access to digital capabilities and infrastructure. Knowledge sharing, providing access to cross-border information and best practices. Funding and investment, providing access to cross-border financing and funding. Technical support, providing access to coaching and technical assistance and supportive policies. Accelerating availability of policies to alleviate key issues. All to empower every woman in the global economy. OGWE will be run by a permanent secretariat and will be supported by technology. You will hear shortly from Diane and Matthias on how we will operationalize OGWE in the near future. The secretariat will provide the 5 C's of services. The first is crowdsource, to provide cross-border collaboration of support. Crowdfund, to provide cross-border collaboration of funding and investment. Curate, access to cross-border images, cross-border trainings and mentoring. Clarify, utility to understand applicable laws and regulations, and communicate to inform on opportunities, status, and achievements. We are very excited to welcome 24 organizations this evening that have pledged to play an active role in OGWE. With that, we would like to present to you the launch of OGWE. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nurdiana, for excellently delivering the message. And you may now please remain with us on stage. And distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we thank Ms. Nurdiana Darus for introducing the great initiatives from B20 Women in Business Action Council, we'd like to kindly ask you to please remain on stage. And we'd also like to invite on stage Ms. Shinta Kamdani, the chair of B20 Indonesia 2022. Ms. Ira Noviarti, the chair of B20 Women in Business Action Council and the president director of Unilever Indonesia. And Her Excellency Ms. Igusti Ayu Bintang Darmawati, the Minister of Women Empowerment and Child Protection of the Republic of Indonesia. And Her Excellency Ms. Smriti Irani, the Minister for Women and Child Development of the Government of India. Her Excellency Baroness Deborah Stedman Scott, the Minister for Women from the Government of the United Kingdom. and His Excellency Mr. Owen Jenkins, the Ambassador of the United Kingdom for Indonesia and Timor-Leste. Her Excellency Ms. Nadia Berger, the Ambassador of Canada designate to Indonesia and Timor-Leste. His Excellency Mr. Manoj Kumar Bharti, the Ambassador of India to Indonesia. Ms. Nicole Mansbazawi, the Director of Women's Economic Empowerment of the U.S. Department of State. And to accompany the launch of the One Global Women Empowerment Platform and present the pledge statement, would also like to invite the representatives of the companies to the stage. Ms. Elim Sritaba from APP Sinarmas, Ms. Patricia Matias, AVPN, and Ms. Irawati Hermawan from Deloitte Global. Ladies and gentlemen, along with them, we would also like to invite Ms. Irawati Hermawan from Deloitte Global and Ms. Maya Juwita from IBCWE, Ms. Shali Pristine from Grab Indonesia, Ms. Ripi Mangku Subroto from HM Sampurna, Ms. Tri Dina Rahmawati from Kadin, Ms. Dinda Herfi from Moonshot Ventures, Ms. Dia Yusuf from Womenpreneurs Indonesia Networks, Mr. Elwin Sansius from Women's World Banking. And joining us virtually, we also have the representatives from Amarta, APAC Women Connect, A6 Holding, Bridgem Indonesia, DH Gate, Funding Societies, GEMA of Argentina, Global Business Accelerator 100, HHP Law Firm, and Kale Group, as well as SSAK Law Firm, Shrem, Tokopedia, and Unilever Global. And ladies and gentlemen, for those of you wearing masks, we'd like to kindly ask you to please take it off for just a moment for a group photo session together. Terima kasih. All right, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, reaching the much anticipated highlights of our event, a significant milestone that we're all aiming to achieve in advancing gender equality and empowering every woman in business and the global economy with the One Global Women Empowerment Platform. And now let us start our launch. Here is to all strong women. May we know them, may we be them, and may we raise them. And on my count, ladies and gentlemen, as we wait for one more member on stage to receive the kulkul. All right, here we go. And on my count, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to ask you to please beat the kulkul together. At 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to say a big congratulations for the launching of OGWE. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a big round of applause as we say congratulations for the launching of OGWE, or One Global Women Empowerment Platform. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining the OGWE launch and for the pledge statements. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to ask you to once again, please remain on stage for another group photo session together. And this time, ladies and gentlemen, we had one before the launch and now, of course, after the launch. And kami persilakan kepada teman-teman media sekalian untuk mengabadikan momen sangat spesial ini. Thank you so much to our friends from the media. We'd like to once again say a big congratulations and thank you to everyone for your support and for your utmost commitment and alignment of our great mission. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the launch as well as the pledge statements. You may now return to your seats. And ladies and gentlemen, indeed, for the success of this great OGWE platform, a much anticipated and awaited platform, we'd like to once again appreciate the great supports of all of our partners and extend our greatest gratitude. Amarta, APAC Women Connect, APP Sinarmas, A6, AVPN, Bridgem Indonesia, Deloitte, DH Gates, IBCWE, Funding Societies, GEMA from Argentina, Business Accelerator 100, and Grab, HPP Law Firm, PT HM Sampurna Tbk, Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Kale Group, Moonshot Ventures, SSEK, Shrimp, Tokopedia, Unilever Global, Womenpreneurs Indonesia Networks, Women's World Banking, Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let us give everyone here a big round of applause. Thank you so much for your utmost commitment and your alignment with our great mission. And ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to remind you to please stay with us until the end of our event as we have more to come. So, without further ado, to gain further insights, next please allow me to invite Ms. Diane Wang, the co-chair of B20 Women in Business Action Council and the founder, chairperson, and the CEO of DH-Gates, who will be continued by Mr. Matthias Thorns, the Deputy Secretary General of International Organizations of Employers, who's already with us virtually to present the OGWE Way Forward. Please welcome.
Thank you, Amelia. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we've witnessed the launch of One Global Women Empowerment Platform, a B20 Indonesia legacy program with the support of more than 20 organizations. Next, the OGWE Secretariat will be established to develop the go-to-market strategy and a target operating model. The Secretariat will further engage member organizations to share ideas and strategies and models, as well as the governance issue. Looking ahead, the focus will be on delivering strong value proposition across the key pillars of the platform. The Secretariat will engage member organizations, particularly on discussions and agreements based on need, ability, and willingness. I would like to take this opportunity to proudly announce that the International Organization of Employers, IOE, has been selected to serve as the host of the platform. The IOE is the largest private sector network in the world, representing more than 50 million businesses through 150 national employers organizations. For more than 100 years, the organization is the secretariat of the employers group in the International Labor Organization. The organization's member federations are engaged in policymaking at the national level and are important multipliers for the national business community. And they also reach smaller and medium-sized companies. The LE works to support its members in all countries at all stages of development to promote women empowerment and a wider understanding of the benefits of workplace diversity, and to equip them to engage with domestic law and regulation in drafting diversity policies and practices. Please join me to warmly welcome Deputy Secretary General of IOE, Mr. Matthias Thorns, to tell us more about the organization and B20 Indonesia will establish the OGWE Secretariat to ensure our efforts will continue in the coming years. Over to you, Mr. Matthias.
Thank you, Diane, and thank you to the B20, to Shinta Kamdani, to Ria Nuriati, to Maria Santanto, and of course to Maya Jovita. We're really proud to serve as the Secretariat of the OGWE, and as you already said, Diane, women empowerment has been a key priority for the IE for a long, long time. We're fully committed to make OGWE a success with lasting impact. We are now establishing the Secretariat, and we will start to promote OGWE among the global business community, as well as regional and international initiatives with the G20, the G7, the UN, and the ILO. Indeed, connecting the dots is a low-hanging fruit. It is not only connecting the dots between the different B20, G20 presidencies, but also between all these different regional, international, and national initiatives. And OGWE can be of real help in this regard. We will support the establishment of national and local OGWE networks through our national member federations, because it is there at national level where we need to make change. Too often we have this discussion at the UN, in New York, in Geneva, at the G20, and no proper follow-up. The IE, together with Deloitte, is launching now a study which focused on the impact of the G20 on women empowerment. And what we see is that women empowerment has been a key priority for the G20 for a long time, but that the implementation of the commitments made at G20 level is rather low. OGWE can really help to make the G20 an engine for reform, an engine for change in this regard. One big objective will be to mainstream the aims of OGWE, to mainstream women empowerment through all the different employment and entrepreneurship initiatives. What we see in many cases is that all these initiatives claim to have a gender focus, but in reality they don't have. Gender mainstreaming must not become a ticking the box exercise, but needs to have purpose and impact. Again, OGWE can be of real help in this regard. Colleagues, through OGWE, we will design, drive, and deliver action for women empowerment, equal opportunities, female employment, and entrepreneurship. We together can make this happen. I'm very confident that next year, during the next B20 presidency in India, we will be able to report on first successes. We really count on your collaboration. Thank you.
And distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, there is indeed more to come. And to bring more detail and rich clarity about B20 Women in Business Action Council's global trends and recommendations, we'd like to invite the two speakers who will be joining us virtually to explain. Let us all welcome Ms. Nicole Scoble-Williams, the Global Future of Work Leader of Deloitte, who will be sharing with us the global trends and opportunities of women in business, followed by Ms. Diane Wang, the co-chair of B20 Women in Business Action Council. Ladies and gentlemen, she'll be sharing with us the Women in Business Action Council's key priorities and recommendations. Please welcome.
Dear Excellencies, dear Chairs, dear Co-Chairs, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is such an honour to be here with you today at such an important event, and I would like to thank the B20 for inviting me to speak about the importance of advancing and strengthening the position of women in business. Deloitte is very proud to be the knowledge partner to the B20 Indonesia's Women in Business Action Council. My role at Deloitte focuses on the future of work, making work better for all humans and all humans better at work. At the heart of that must be empowering women with the same equal opportunities as men to engage and thrive in work, business, technology, and innovation. The world is on the path to economic recovery following the pandemic, which the ILO data tells us has set the world back 36 years in terms of achieving gender parity. The pandemic has proven to be a major hurdle that has certainly exacerbated the challenges that many women were already facing. For many women, those challenges begin at a young age during the early schooling years, where cultural norms, gender stereotypes play such a defining role in the skills that girls hone and the career paths that they pursue. According to the UNESCO groundbreaking report Cracking the Code, only 38% of the world's STEM graduates today are women. As we've heard earlier in the event, in many parts of the world, women lack access to formal education and often turn to the informal sector for work, where they lack basic labour protections and rights. Today, around 58% of employed women are working in the informal sector, according to UN Women. Of course, the challenges for women are not just in the informal sector. In the formal sector, women are presented with many inequalities that erode their prospects to strive for leadership and career aspirations. According to a Deloitte study, the global average of female board representation today is just under 20%. It has only increased 2.8 percentage points since 2018. If we consider women in business, the World Bank reports that in 187 economies, women still are legally constrained from running a business in the same way as men. Even though women represent 40% of all entrepreneurs in the United States of America, for example, only 9% of combined VC investments are in companies with female founders. Deloitte recently published its Women at Work report, which highlighted that the pandemic continues to take a heavy toll on the working experience of women, with 50% of women saying that they are less optimistic about their career opportunities and prospects today than they were a year ago, and highlighting that burnout has reached alarmingly high levels, with 46% of women saying that they are burned out today, and with 33% of women saying they are more stressed today than they were 1 year ago. Remarkably, the report did find that only 3% of women that said they are working for gender equality leaders feel burned out today, highlighting the impact we can have, what we can achieve through targeted initiatives such as developing inclusive leadership capabilities. And of course, that is what our focus here is today. Understanding the opportunities, the aspirations for women, and the call to action for all of us to help unleash those opportunities and aspirations. Deloitte is proud to have the opportunity to walk along with the business leaders across the G20 countries and to help develop tangible and actionable policy recommendations for the G20 governments to adopt in order to continue to drive and improve gender equality around the globe. The B20 key recommendations respond directly to the global trends that continue to evolve. We've heard about one of the recommendations around promoting safe and equitable workplaces, something that is so critical to addressing another one of the findings in Deloitte's Women at Work report, that 59% of women have experienced harassment and/or microaggression at work in the last year, and that 93% of women believe that their employer will not take any action if they report non-inclusive behaviours. Alarming figures that must be addressed. The launch of the One Global Women Empowerment Platform is such an exciting initiative, empowering and accelerating the impactful inclusion of women in business, supporting women to navigate the business and workforce environment, enabling them to collaborate with the ecosystem and access resources to build knowledge, capability, and leadership pathways. All things that are so very important when we reflect on something we also saw in Deloitte's Women at Work report, with 50% of women saying that due to the new ways of working in hybrid work environments, they don't believe they have enough access and exposure to the leaders that they need to help support, enable, and sponsor their career progression and leadership aspirations. Unleash connectivity, that access to empower women with equal opportunities to thrive and succeed in today's modern world is so key to our ability to elevating experiences and outcomes for women, for business, and society at large. We have heard how significant the opportunity is. Equal participation of women in the global economy, a 28 trillion GDP growth opportunity. Over the last 2 years, we have embarked on a new world of work and business that is about so much more than just accelerated change. It is a completely new and different world of work and business to what we've ever known and experienced. And Albert Einstein once said, "You can't use an old map to explore a new world." All of us here today have an important and exciting role to play in creating the new maps and mental models to empower women with the same opportunities as men, to make work better for all humans and all humans better at work. This is a moment of great choice and consequence. And I know that all of us here come with a collective commitment to take the action we need to accelerate the changes required to ensure that all women around the globe do have equal access to the same opportunities as men, to apply their capabilities and to pursue their potential and their career and life passions. Together, we can make a difference and an impact that matters. Thank you for the opportunity to be a part of such an important and exciting conversation. And with that, Ms. Diane, I'm going to hand over to you.
Thank you, Nicole. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Diane. It's my great pleasure and honor to represent B20 Indonesia, Women in Business Action Council, WiBAC, to share the Council's key priorities and recommendations. The first objective of the Council is to empower women entrepreneurs. This involves two policy levers: creating a conducive ecosystem for women entrepreneurs that enables access to finance, legal, and other technical assistance, and developing a global women business network to stimulate cross-border knowledge sharing and investment into women-run businesses. The Policy Action 1.1 aims to identify and establish the critical ecosystem that enables access to finance, legal, and other entrepreneurial technical assistance. To be active participants in the digital economy, women need the digital skills and access to the infrastructure. It's of paramount importance that the G20 governments invest in digital infrastructure so women can access online MISME education programs that address strategy and planning and leverage e-commerce to grow their businesses. In the increasingly digital world, where financing is available through non-traditional means, fintech lending companies can step forward and offer an alternative source of financing women can tap into. The Council urged the G20 governments to adopt a minimum threshold of 3% of public and private sector's procurement for women-led businesses. This will set right pace for gender parity within global supply chains. The Policy Action 1.2 aims to develop a global women-led business network to stimulate cross-border knowledge sharing and investment into women-run businesses. The Council proposed to establish the One Global Women Empowerment Platform, OGWE. The goal is to create a permanent body supported by the Secretariat and technology. The network will act as the bridge between G20 and B20 presidencies, ensuring continuation of efforts from Indonesia to India, Brazil, and beyond. The platform will share how digitalization can address end-to-end needs, including access to digital skills development, facilitate access to cross-border financing, investments, markets, and suppliers. Link women to leadership development and training, provide technical support, such as access to coaching, mentoring, legal support, and other technical assistance. However, one platform is not enough. We need to take concrete actions to strengthen collaboration between both public and private sectors in tapping new opportunities, adapt to the local conditions, and launch actionable and sustainable ways to boost cross-border knowledge sharing, to get investments toward women-led business, and to get more women into the global economy. The good news is that many organizations and business platforms are already working on digitalization, and they could be tapped to coach and inspire women and girls worldwide. For example, My Shop, a one-stop SaaS platform launched by the DHgate Group in 2020, a woman can now easily start social commerce without the needs to know trade policies, e-commerce operations, and logistics, thanks to the platform's comprehensive suite of digital solutions, using live streaming for online training and learning. I can see more women entrepreneurs to turn their social power into profitable business in the future. Next slide, please. The second objective of WiBAC is to enable women's digital and leadership capabilities. This involves two policy levers: equipping more girls with STEM skills and increasing and accelerating women's access to digital skills, and strengthening skills for women to undertake leadership roles and facilitate agreement on common gender reporting framework to improve transparency. The policy action 2.1 aims to equip more girls with STEM skills and increasing and accelerating women's access to digital skills. Equipping women with digital, science, and technological skills is the first step in ensuring gender parity and securing women in place in the formal economy. The G20 governments must also undertake measures to ensure that women have fair and equal opportunities in the workplace, allowing them to flourish and play leadership roles. The media plays a big part in reinforcing stereotypical perceptions that hold women back. Studies have shown media can contribute to reinforce people's view of occupations, career socializations, and even gender stereotypical attitudes and beliefs about work. Equipping more girls with STEM skills, accelerating women's access to digital skills is not just about addressing access and accessibility barriers. Cultural norms and stereotypes, as well as workplace practices that currently deter women from entering these fields must also be addressed. The policy action 2.2 aims to strengthen skills for women to undertake leadership roles and facilitate agreement on common gender reporting framework to improve transparencies. Formal leadership skills training on the job opportunities are critical for women to undertake leadership roles. Steps need to be taken to encourage organizations to deliver on these opportunities as there remain barriers such as gender stereotypes around the choice of occupations for women, a lack of female role models, and closed networks, as well as women's own views of their capability. Governments must collectively review and identify best practices to study, report, and communicate non-financial disclosures. Gender reporting matrix on fair representation for use by business, government, and other organizations should align with Brisbane 25x25 targets as a mandate under G20 Italy. Next slide, please. The third objective of WiBAC is promoting safe and equitable workplaces. This involves two policy levers: improving job security for women workers in the informal economy, including in rural communities, and developing policies, strategies, and systematic approaches to prevent gender-based violence and provide assistance to victims in the workplace. The Policy Action 3.1 aims to improve job security for female workers in the informal economy, including in rural communities. It's imperative to bring female workers out of the informal economy, and that requires an integrated strategy. This means making labor markets more flexible, reforming social benefits, increasing labor productivity, making the regulatory framework and the justice system more efficient, and simplifying and rationalizing the tax system. Government needs to support companies in the formalization of the informal sector by creating and enabling business environment, digitalizing all business registration systems, and promoting supportive tax policies. The Policy 3.2 aims to develop policies, strategies, and systematic approaches to enable prevention of gender-based violence and provision of assistance to victims in the workplace. A three-party coalition involving government, workers, and employers to be set up to identify issues and recommend strategies to address workplace violence. In addition, the G20 governments should work together toward providing victims access to gender-responsive, safe, and effective compliant and dispute resolution mechanism, support services, and remedies. Last but not least, I sincerely hope we can unite all G20 countries and international organizations' resources, such as APEC Women Connect and BRICS Women Alliances, that already have projects related to women in leadership or ownership roles. This will help us to amplify our key events and plans in the media and help us to develop and scale up the OGWE platform in the future. Thank you. Over to you, Amelia.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for sharing with us the global trends and opportunities of women in business, as well as the key priorities and recommendations of WiBAC. So, ladies and gentlemen, another highlight of our evening. Next, it is with the greatest honor and pleasure that we shall welcome the remarks from the Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Airlangga Hartarto, through this next video.
Excellency Minister of Women Empowerment and Child Protection of Indonesia, Ibu Bintang Puspayoga, Minister of Women and Child Development of India, Ms. Smriti Zubin Irani, Minister of Finance, Minister for Women and Minister for Public Service, Government of Australia, Ms. Kathy Gallagher, Minister of Women, Government of UK, Baroness Deborah Steadman-Scott, Commissioner for Equality, European Commission, Ms. Helena Dalli, Honorables Pak Arsyad Rashid, Head of Kadin, Ibu Sinta Kamdani, Chair of Business 20 Indonesia, Ibu Ira Noviarti, Chair of B20 Women in Business Action Council, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having me today with the outstanding businesswomen from all over the world. I'm honored to present my keynote remarks in this pertinent event organized by B20 entitled B20-G20 Dialogue Women in Business Action Council. Allow me to begin by sharing Indonesia's current economic performance. Despite the global turmoil, Indonesia has been able to grow at 5.44% during second quarter 2022. The inflation rate is still manageable at 4.94% as of July this year on year. Capital inflow experienced a positive trend which stands around $866 million, while PMI continued to be at the expansive level for 11 months in a row. My purpose of sharing those numbers is to spark a sense of confidence in all of us. The world may look gloomy, but not everything is dark. With the right policy, we should be able to strengthen our economic foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, the right policy must be inclusive, meaning we should not leave anyone behind, including the first and foremost, the woman. To that extent, I welcome with positive gesture the work of B20 Indonesia Women in Business Action Council, or B20 WiBAC. For the past few months since the inception of our G20 presidency, the B20 has been the most active engagement group. Today, its active role is demonstrated through a novel initiative called One Global Woman Empowerment as a strategic platform to fulfill noble purposes, which are supporting the upgrade MSMEs, especially those owned by women, nurturing digital leadership by women, and promoting secure and non-discriminative workplace. I think this is what we call Women Empower Women. As someone who believes in the value of equality, I strongly support this initiative to be continued by the next G20 presidency. Such a continuity is essential because the inclusion of women in economy, global GDP is expected to grow by 28 trillion. Therefore, we can enhance the resilience of the global economic against the future shock. Those can be an added capacity towards G20 agreement reached at the finance track, which is the FIF pandemic PPR amounting total of $1.3 billion. During the pandemic, the government provides lots of support for business activities owned by women and provide digital training for women to be able to build a business after the pandemic. I observed that many businesses owned by women not only recovering but getting stronger. This should be concrete result of the government effort to help women to recover faster. Distinguished participants, in this digital era, improving the digital literacy is essential. Technology and internet are great enablers for businesswomen in accelerating of their businesses. However, the gender digital divide in access to the internet remains large in the least developed countries, standing around at the 32.9%. On the note, I have a high hope that the OGWE initiative not only overtook this condition and could propose to the low-income and developing economies number of concrete programs to provide equal access to technology, digital training, and to be safe online. In Indonesia, the role of women is increasingly significant. As many as 61% of women contribute to the economy. About 50% of the 60 million MSME are owned by women. This is a very significant MSME in Indonesia to absorb 97% of workforce. The Indonesian government continues to support women through the microcredit program and the pre-employment card. Let me reiterate Indonesia presidency commitment to attain 2014 Brisbane goals to reduce the gender gap in labor market by 2025. The aim is to bringing 100 million people into the labor market, increasing global growth, reducing poverty and inequality, and countering the contraction of workforce aging country. Finally, I wish all the productive discussion today and looking forward to continuous support for this initiative. Thank you.
And distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, next let us listen to the remarks from the President of CII and the Chair of the Confederation of Indian Industry of the Trade Fairs Council through this next video. Let us all welcome Ms. Shobana Kamineni.
Evening. It's really a pleasure to be invited, pleasure and an honor to be invited to give some remarks at the B20 such. I think that many of us in this room, we spend so much time as you become businesswomen, we're taken into places that are not inclusive at all, that are just women on women conclaves, places where women would speak to each other. And I think that after many years, I realized that this is something that is actually useful really among each other. And having grown up in a house with 3 other sisters, 4 of us running a business, I realized that the collaboration that we get and the sharing, and of course the nurturing, definitely helps. And it helps enterprises, helps businesses more than anything, networks. And this is what all this is about. It's about networks. So while many of us know the statistics about the abysmal tracks of women in the workforce, from India to many countries that surround us, it's a work in progress. I firmly believe it's a generational change for this. And as we see more and more women enter first, basic education, higher education, and then, of course, in the workforce, so take them out of the vulnerable jobs. So at that point in time, that inflection is what it's imperative for us in forums like this to see not when it will happen, but how we can accelerate happening. Because we're not going to wait around for 30 years or wait for 1 or 2 generations for this change to happen. I heard a fantastic dialogue between the finance minister and Tamil Nadu. And he said actually that, Tamil Nadu is a state in South India. They said that we might not have the largest, the per capita among the other states, but they're willing to trade off the fact that, 1,000, that maybe $500 in GDP per year, if it gets traded off, the per capita in their particular state, if it was for social causes, like if you compare the women who are being educated, women entering into high schools, into graduate schools are higher than any other states. So I think this is something that we sometimes lose sight of in the pursuit of saying the GDP or the per capita. We also look at the quality of the per capita and what it will yield for future generations. And I think using women, diversity, is the right thing to invest. Because when you do this, I come from a healthcare industry, and I recognize that, when a woman of the house is educated and some understanding of health, the entire health parameters of that house, and again, the network effect to the nation actually reduces the burden of disease. And I think COVID highlighted this, spotlighted this, among many reasons of why when we put 50% style, we should have equal share in everything from governance to business to and opportunities. I do believe that it starts with the small things and emerges, with people like us who are committed, who are accelerating change and committing to working towards it. So proud of you with this dialogue today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shobana Kamineni. And distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we've reached the end of our event, to conclude, I'd like to present to you the concluding remarks video from our esteemed chairman of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or Kadin. Let us all welcome Mr. Arshad Rashid.
Honorable guests and excellencies, attendees, participants, and distinguished business leaders, a very good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Kadin, or the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the organizers of the B20 2022, I would like to welcome you to this dialogue which aims to disclose the policy recommendation and legacy programs of the Women in Business Action Council. The Action Council is committed to empowering women entrepreneurs, enabling women's digital and leadership capabilities, and promoting safe and equitable workplace to achieve inclusive and sustainable development for G20 countries. However, the status quo deems that women earn about 37% less than men, according to 2021 data from the World Economic Forum. Only 8% of the Fortune 500 companies are led by female CEO in 2021. While this number has increased in the past couple of years, the percentage needs to be even higher. It is widely recognized women do not just improve the financial performance metrics, they also increase business innovation. Yet, women still face gender, cultural, and racial discrimination, particularly in the workplace. For example, women of color are 4 times more likely to do unpaid work than men in the workplace. Women empowerment is an integral part that drives economic growth. By improving gender equity, it can potentially add $13 trillion to the global economy by 2030. And now, as the global economy is recovering, this is the right time for us, the private sectors, to ride on this momentum to propel the growth of women in the business world. And several key actions can be done here. Making real progress on equal pay and narrowing the gender gap in the workplace. Preventing violence and sexual harassment in the workplace and online. Increasing the presence of women in leadership and decision-making. Then, increase investment and access to funding for women-owned and led businesses. The organization I led, Kadin, or the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, has supported the initiative through several programs. We have empowered several women-led micro, small, medium enterprises with capacity-building programs through coaching and mentoring, assisting them in breaking into the global export market and strategize to secure capital for scaling up their businesses. We have also raised awareness on issues concerning women at work and entrepreneurship through seminars and webinars to discuss challenges and best practices with female professionals and entrepreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope today's discussion can benefit the Council by refining their policy recommendation and legacy program for more women to lead, participate in, and have access to enhanced businesses and economic opportunities, advancing our grand goal of sustainable and inclusive development. Thank you.
And distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our next concluding remarks and anchor message. Please allow me to invite on stage the chair of B20 Women in Business Action Council and the President Director of Unilever Indonesia. Let us all give the biggest round of applause for Ms. Ira Noviarti.
Finally, the closing remarks. I hope you guys and ladies enjoy the dinner this evening. So, honorable ministers and ambassadors, most especially special mentions with my heartfelt apology for missing a line in my opening speech earlier. Minister for Women, Government of United Kingdom, Baroness Deborah Stedman Scott. You have been the kindest supportive. Thank you for being such graceful and understanding. Distinguished B20 Indonesia Chair, distinguished B20 Indonesia Task Force and Action Council chairs, co-chairs and members, our knowledge partners, Deloitte and UN Women, and distinguished participants all around the globe. It is truly wonderful and heartwarming to hear the great support and feedback towards our policy recommendations and how we can collaborate to accelerate impactful inclusions of women in the global economy through the One Global Woman Empowerment Platform. As mentioned by Diane, one of our co-chair, the International Organizations of Employers, or IOW, will serve as the host of OGWE. With IOE's experience in engaging over 50 million businesses globally, we are confident that OGWE is in good hands to accelerate inclusions of women in the global economy, and that OGWE will serve the needs of B20, India, Brazil, and beyond. As next step, the B20 Women in Business Action Council team will work closely. So this is just a start. The excitement that we had just now is a start of the hard work again. To set up the OGWE Secretariat and to engage more local and global organizations and MSMEs to jointly deliver its visions to empower every woman in the global economy. Once again, I would like to extend my gratitude to the honorable ministers, honorable ambassadors, distinguished B20 Indonesia Task Force and Action Council chairs, co-chairs, deputy chairs, policy managers, knowledge partners, Deloitte, network partners, UN Women, and members, distinguished keynote speakers, OGWE pledging companies, representative, and all participants for the wonderful and insightful evening. I'm truly grateful to see the great energy and learn from everyone, and I'm optimistic that we will advance the innovative, inclusive, collaborative growth to recover together, recover stronger. Thank you very much, everyone. And that is the close of our event today. Thank you so much, and maybe seeing you very soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ira Nofiarti, for your commitment in promoting women's economic empowerment, entrepreneurship, and leadership. And distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have finally reached the end of today's agenda. And today we've had thoughtful discussions and rich insights from all of our honorable panelists and speakers. What great anchor message we all had. And on behalf of the committee, we'd like to once again thank everyone, all of you, all of the guests and speakers for your attendance and participation here today. It has indeed been such a fruitful deliberation. And ladies and gentlemen, foremost, they say that a dream that we dream alone is merely a dream, but a dream that we dream together is indeed achievable and has become a reality, as we can see here today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to once again give the biggest round of applause for all the great ladies here. Thank you so much. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'd also like to extend our most profound gratitude to our dear sponsors, our main sponsors, PT Astra International Tbk, PT Bayan Resources Tbk, PT Indica Energy Tbk, Sinarmas, our bronze sponsors, April Group, Bakri Group, Bank Sentral, PT Bank Sentral Asia Tbk, PT Bank Negara Indonesia, PT Elang Mahkota Teknologi Tbk, PT Goto Gojek Tokopedia Tbk, PT HM Sampurna Tbk, PT Indonesia Financial Group, PT Pertamina, Indofood, Lipo Group, Permata Bank, and Telkom Indonesia, and our knowledge partner, Deloitte, and our network partners, International Chamber of Commerce and UN Women. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for making this mission to empower all women become a great reality. I'm Amelia Yahya signing off, and we hope to see you again on our next event. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and together, let us recover together, and let us recover stronger. Thank you so much.